That's what I usually say to my dad. I'm just like, I'm back, motherfucker. What's up? How's everyone doing? You guys ready for your last two comics? Fucking genius in a bottle? Hell yeah. I got another question. I heard it backstage again. I swear, there's no double meaning to this. Who's the guy with the very moisturized dick? Where the hell did that come from and how did it even get out? Anyways. Oh, my dick isn't moisturized, dude. I'm jealous. My dick looked like it got sprayed with a fire extinguisher, man. Just ashy as fuck. I need some lotion. You guys are so interactive. Don't ever do it again. I might as well tell a joke. Fuck it. I made the mistake the other day of realizing that my generation has nothing on older generations, like at all. Like we can't whine, we can't complain because of the fact that, you look at older generations, they've been through polio, they cured it, they've been through AIDS, they've been through war. And all my generation has is the great gluten pandemic of like 2010. Where the fuck did gluten come from? Why is it such a big deal? I'm like, gluten? You know the peanut allergy standing there looking at gluten being like, faggot. Like, gluten. Dude, and I brought in, like I said, I have a 6-year-old, and it was his, fucking first grade party, and I brought in a huge batch of fucking cookies that I had made with peanuts in them. And when I walked in, dude, it was like I had a bomb strapped to my chest, like the fucking kids went under the desk and the teacher was freaking out and like doing Hail Marys. I'm like, really? Peanuts? Like, it even got me like, I've got no way to end this joke. Fuck the peanut allergy and fuck gluten. I guess that's the really big point of it. But I'm going to bring up your next comic on stage. The guy is absolutely hilarious. He has been doing comedy for 3 years. He's also the youngest person in Carson City. And he's never won a comedy competition. Give it up loud, as hard as you can. Tons of energy, people, for Adam. HOLWERDA. I said tons of energy.
2,000 pounds of energy. Bring it. So how are you guys doing? Doing good? My name's Adam. I'll tell you guys a little bit about myself here to start. I think I'm about 5% gay, or whatever percentage of my body my right hand takes up. Just thought I'd bring that up right in the beginning. That usually comes up at some point. It's really more for my own protection than for your curiosity. So that's cool. Geez, how am I gonna, can't even begin to tell you guys how I'm gonna start telling you guys jokes. Let's start with, I'm originally from Michigan. Anyone else here from the northern Midwest? I'm in good company. So growing up in Michigan, I always thought that a Detroit was a magical type of tiger that turned into a lion around August and made my dad drink. And I thought the state bird was a tire with wheels on it. Red Wings. Red ones. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, we had some rain this week. You guys see the weather? It's pretty crazy. I like the Weather Channel. It's weird because you can sit there and watch for an hour, and at the end, all you know is like, hey, this may or may not happen today. Dress accordingly. And that's entertainment too. Like, people sit there and watch it, and you spend ad dollars on that. So I want to have my own channel that's just news for stuff that's going to happen no matter what. It'll be like in 3 billion years, the sun's going to turn into a red dwarf, expand, and engulf the earth. And on Sunday, Lindsay Lohan's going back to jail. I'll call it the Whether or Not channel. That shit's gonna happen whether or not you watch it. And that joke is true too. Since I wrote that joke, it's been true 4 different times. Lindsay Lohan. All right. So that's pretty good. We got off to a good start here. I think you guys know me a little bit. I'd like to share with you that I'm in a bad place in my life right now. Carson City. Could be worse. Could be Reno. You know, I don't think Reno is bad. It's just you read some like weird newspaper articles here because it's a weird place in America. And I read this newspaper article that said, you know, man walks away from Reno prison. And then I read the article and it was exactly how it sounded. The guy didn't escape, didn't break out, he just left. Like, really? What's the point of a prison? If you can just leave. That's not a prison, that's a fight with my ex-girlfriend. And if you're like me, if you're like Adam, should I be worried about this guy who broke out? Who left? I'd be like, yeah. Because this guy's been convicted 3 separate times for driving under the influence. And I just can't sleep at night knowing that out there somewhere, there's an unluckier version of me. You get it now, all right. But yeah, and living in Reno is great. Don't do it. I've been thinking about relationships a lot. I've been watching that show, John and Kate + 8. You guys seen that show? It's got me thinking that, you know, however many kids I'm gonna have depends on whatever number my future wife names rhyme with. Wife's name rhymes with. So now I gotta tell Jaleven, I don't think we're gonna do this. Can't have that many kids running around. It's too many kids. I think weed is weird. You guys, I think a good slogan for like anti-weed slogan would be doobie doobie don't. Don't. I don't think weed makes you forget. I think it lets your brain cells know, like, hey man, we don't gotta work for the man anymore. We don't gotta file these secrets into this government locker anymore. We can just sit there and ponder the meaning of this Justin Timberlake song. No? All right. You know what's really bad is driving high. Because being high is great and driving is great, but driving high is like, it's like, hey, get on this 3,000-pound bike and go through this obstacle course. Does anyone want to do that? I didn't want to do that. So I was driving high in Reno one time at night, and I was coming up to a stoplight. It was turning red. It was yellow. So I slammed on my brakes, and I just made it. And then 2 cops walked a guy wearing a Grateful Dead t-shirt across the crosswalk in front of me. And I was like, if that guy's getting arrested for wearing a Grateful Dead t-shirt, what are they going to do to me? I had actually committed a crime. Anyway, whatever, you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. One time I was high and I went to Starbucks and I ordered a grande mocha, and then I sat down at the table and started playing with the lines in the wood grain. And then 10 minutes later, they were like, hey, we got a grande mocha for Y? Which is what I had told them my name was, because they were like, what's your name? And I was like, why? Why do you need my name? All right, I did that joke sort of out of order. It's kind of, I don't know if you could tell from the way that I filled it in afterwards. So if you guys have been in Reno, or if you haven't been in Reno, there was this big, huge billboard that said, tumors don't, really huge, and then stand a chance, really small. And it was an anti-cancer billboard for a hospital around here. You guys remember this sign? It's over somewhere else now. But it used to be like, I would drive right past it every single time. But the way that it was on the highway, you could only read the first part of it for about 10 seconds before you saw what tumors didn't do. So I would always come up with my own. The way my mind works is I'd be like, oh, tumors don't. And I couldn't remember what it was, so I'd be like, grow in a garden. And then I would see, and I'd be like, oh, yeah. So then the next time I was like, tumors don't pay rent. That's true. Tumors don't give Arnold Schwarzenegger a headache in the movie The Kindergarten Cop. They kept getting more elaborate, and I kept almost crashing even more because of this distracting sign. And then I wrote a joke about it, which didn't work. But I kept telling it for 2 years, because why not? That's the way I roll. So I'm from Michigan originally, like I said. But yeah, I also am sorry. I wish I was from Auburn. Right? There it is. Auburn, 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 Auburn. Auburn, 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 Auburn. Auburn, Auburn. Punchline, Auburn. Punchline, Reno. But when I was a junior in college, my parents moved to Alabama right before spring break. So spring break happened, and I had no home to go to. And so I slept in that guy's backyard for a week, which is weird for him. And for me, it was normal, because I lived there before. But I was always like, Mom and Dad, why did you guys move to Alabama? Like, you were with me when we saw Forrest Gump. Like, we should all be on the same page about this. And since my parents live in the South, like, you know, I don't like to make fun of people in the South because they get it enough, because they deserve it. But you see some weird things. Like, you see, I was jogging, and you know those pants you see girls wear that say, like, juicy or pink on the butt, right? It's like a butt bumper sticker. I saw a pair of these pants that said, barefoot, pregnant, and proud. And then I passed the guy, and he was like really sweaty and taking his shirt off at the same time. And for a second, I thought he was going to take another shirt off, but he was just really hairy. Like, if he knew how to crochet, he could have crocheted that hair into a shirt that he would already always be wearing and still have enough armpit hair left over for some baby booties, because you know his wife's at home, barefoot, pregnant, and ashamed. You went in public with that? And since my parents live in Alabama, I fly there like twice a year, right? And from Reno, the only really connecting flight between here and there is the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport in Texas. And it was a 5-day trip the last time I went, and I realized that the only 2 times that I had pooped the entire trip were at the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, and I was trying to figure out why. But I think I just have this unconscious need to improve Texas every time I'm in it. It's fertilizer, guys. Fertilizer. Anybody here from Texas? Sir, hello. How are you? I think, sir, you're very unlucky to be from Texas. Good. I love this joke. So you're from Texas, right? You're very unlucky, because you have about 1/3% of being of a chance of being from Texas, which is about the same percent of chance you have of getting a disease like elephantitis. And I don't know anyone with elephantitis who goes around bragging that they have elephantitis. You know what I mean? Like, no one's like, don't mess with elephantitis. I mean, you shouldn't, and they do say that. But no one goes around being like, hey man, everything's bigger with elephantitis. All right, that one's obviously true. Texas just sucks is what I'm trying to say, sir with a hat. You should be from Auburn instead, right? That is the correct answer. Yeah. So after I went jogging, I went into this. After I went jogging, yeah, let's go back in time to the old joke that I did 5 minutes ago. But also in the South. I was in Tennessee. And I went to a Subway and ordered a meatball sandwich. Are you just saying why to everything I say? Why? Why? Because a meatball sandwich is very good. It's good eating. It's 8 inches of balls of meat in your mouth. How does that not sound great? Just put it in your mouth. So I went to a Subway and I ordered a meatball sandwich, and the guy said, "Do you want to taste it?" And I said, "Well, actually, I'd like to eat it, but if you need me to lick it first, we can get that going for you. I don't know what the local rules are. Not sure what the customs are." So then he was like, "No, do you want to taste it?" And I was like, "How is that any different from the first time you asked me?" And then he pointed at a machine and goes, "No, in the taster." And I was like, "Oh, right, okay." Because the default, I guess, of a meatball sandwich in Tennessee is cold, which is weird, but whatever. So I did that. That was interesting. I'll just walk away from everyone now because if you have a baby on board sticker on your car, like, don't drive in a way that makes me want to hit you, right? Like, situation that happened to me, like this lady drove up next to me on the highway and then got in front of me and then took a turn at a half a mile an hour. And I was like, I get that there's a baby in the car, but does it have to be driving? And the worst part about it was her license plate read ONLYHMN, only human, which is like an excuse in advance. It's like, hey, I'm going to put this on my license plate so that the driver only knows this one thing about me, which is that I'm going to cause an accident because I am only human. And I just thought it would be funny if maybe when the Google cars started, that one of them had an only human license plate. Anyway, your silence is very intimidating. But I like you still. You guys are all very nice, and it's bright in here, which the worst part is like when it's dark and you can't see what people are like responding to your jokes, and you're like, maybe I'm alone now. Maybe everyone has left, like actually physically gotten out of their chairs and left. And that's great for confidence. Oh, my dear. So, does anyone here have 2 jobs, working 2 jobs? Raise your hand. You greedy assholes. Do you know there's some people without any jobs, and you're making it so that they can't even have one? Did you know that? If you didn't know that, that's how the economy works. I know a guy with -2 jobs. Like, all that guy does is go around every day and undo the work that 2 people got done the day before. That guy's name's Barack Obama. So, right. Righty. What did you say, what again, sir? Laffy? Lefty loosey, righty whitey tighty? All right. Righty whitey tighty. Tighty whitey, righty lefty, loosey boosey. So I have 2 cats. I have 2 cats now as a person. Has this happened to anyone else? This is not a good thing. It's a I guess you would call it a malfortune, a misfortune. It happened to me because all the people I work with, one of the ladies who was like trying to get rid of her cats didn't post a Craigslist ad quick enough. And then I got stuck with the cats, but at first I was going to take 1 cat, because I was like, I can take 1 cat, but I'm a sucker for females, so I took the female cat too. So now I have 2 cats, right? And I had to rename them because one of them was named Socks after the White Sox, and I'm a Tigers fan, so I had to rename it to Mittens. Romney because it was election season, but still, right? And the other one was fat and orange, and its name was Charlie, and I renamed that one to Free, to a good home, or I don't care, actually. You could take him up to the Red Rocks and use him for target practice, because I know that cat has thought worse things about me. Like, that cat has been planning my death for 3 years, and I've only had him for 6 months. So those cats are pretty good. Hey, so cats, guys. Cats are great. Cats. Does anyone else have cats? Cats? All right, I've noticed these things about my cats that I hate. Maybe they'll be funny to you. When I am pooping, my cats think that's the best time to come up to me and rub themselves on my legs. Like, my pants are down, and like my cats are like, yes, this is it. We've been waiting all day for this. Let's go rub ourselves on his legs. And I thought it was just a cat thing. I was like, oh, this is things cats do. So I try to do it to them. Like, I wait till they're pooping, and then I'll just go up and rub my body on them. And turns out it's not a cat thing, because they hate that. And that's how I learned out that I'm allergic to cat bites, and that I'm not qualified for insurance. So that's one of those things, you know? Cats are weird. If you have cats, I feel bad for you. Does anyone want some cats? Like, seriously. This is coming to me now. I was like, does anyone want some cats? Yeah, this would be great. They're in my trunk outside in my car in the back in the valley over here. It's a burgundy Chrysler Sebring 2002. It's open, just take it. You can have the cats too. You can have the car, definitely. That's cool. I'm just gonna go over here for a while because you guys aren't doing too good. Yeah. If you finally saw that movie, 127 Hours, do you guys know about that movie or seen that movie or know what that movie is? And if you don't know what it is, it's about a guy who. Are you saying it's 3 years ago? This joke must be 3 years old, sir. Because James Franco is only 2 years older now, so it must have only been 2 years ago. This is not a joke. This is just true. So that's okay. I'm from Michigan, Texas. Which one's better? California. Woo! Let's bring it back to Auburn. Auburn. If a comic is bombing, please mention something near Auburn. All right. But yeah, I finally watched that movie, and if you don't know what that movie's about, it's about the 5 days that a guy gets trapped in the Utah desert with nothing but a camcorder, and his struggle to get 2 usable hours of acting out of James Franco. We know that he did it. So I went to a strip club recently, and I don't know, it's weird, look at me, right? I went to a strip club. And they did card me. I get carded every single place I go. Like, I got carded here, and I'm in the show tonight. The weirdest time I ever got carded was at a Walmart, and I went up to the counter with my beer, and the lady says to me, I'm gonna have to go talk to a manager because you look older in the picture than you do now. And I was like, okay. Well, maybe I could tell you what your manager would probably tell you, which is that my wallet is not a fucking time machine. That would be a cool wallet. Like, I wish I had that wallet. So, but yeah. So I was at a strip club, right? Back on track here. I was at a strip club, and do you know how strip clubs work, right? Is you sort of like sit there and you pay money after a certain amount of boobies are shown to you. And if you're sitting in the right chair, you will like throw out $1 or whatever. They're also fake, sir. So you're sitting there and you sit at the bar, and what happens after they dance is they'll come up to you and proposition you for like a lap dance or whatever, because obviously this is the time of night where you want some butt rubbed on your chest. So you say, yeah, okay. But I was talking to this girl, and her name was Diamond. And so I was like, you know, what's your real name? Like, what is it really? And she was like, it's Amber. And I was like, Amber, okay. So you went from a yellow precious stone to a clear precious stone. It's not a big stretch, really, not that big of a jump. Have you wanted to know that have you known you were going to do this? That's like having a stage name that's like Chris Rock if your name is Adam Stone. It's like the same thing. And what's weird about it is, like, I sat there and talked to her, and she seemed really cool. And I was like, you know what? Hey, you know, I'm a comedian. You should come out and watch some comedy that I do. And she was like, I can't do that. That's solicitation of prostitution. And I said, well, shit. And I owe a lot of women a lot of money. That's my time, everybody. Thanks for not laughing. My name's Adam Holwera. I'll just stand here while Steve comes up to bum rush me. Adam!
You're fucking right, Adam. So I thought of this great double entendre joke when I was backstage, and I want to test it out. It's, I wanted to say that any city 20 miles west of Sacramento sucks. Aw, burn! I cannot apologize enough for that. Wait a minute, I made a cowboy stand up. Uh-oh. East. Oh. Crap. I've had way too much to drink. I was so proud. And who would have thought that compass directions would fucking joke block me? Not yet, but I will. Moisturized cock. You know what? You can say whatever you want. I just know that thing is nice and moisturized. Creeps me out. I'm going to introduce you guys to your last comic, who is my idol. I fucking love this guy. Great guy named John Ager's performed all over at colleges and clubs. Please give a huge welcome for Mr. John Ager.
I mean, I don't want you to be mad, but when we see each other in the mall and I say, how you doing, say, fine, move the fuck on. Don't tell me about a goiter operation. I don't give a shit. You're not family, all right? I was stuck back east during Hurricane Sandy. Getting stuck in a place during Hurricane Sandy with no power sucks. Getting stuck with your family, I'm going to kill somebody in 3 minutes. That's like Thanksgiving. It's a horrible thing. Let me tell you a bit about myself. First of all, I am the only good-looking one on stage tonight. I hate these young kids. I really do. All you have to do is wear tight jeans, come out with a heart on. All the girls are looking, all the guys are going, oh my God, nobody's listening to jokes. I gotta write jokes. I'm excited right now. Nobody knows it but me. The doctor says for every 15 pounds you gain, you lose 1/2 inch of manhood. I've gone through a complete sex change at this point. Christ, I got an innie. I'm gonna have to run my thumb up my ass and yell, snake, just to get that fucker out front. I went to Overeaters Anonymous. Why? Because they hold the meetings at Denny's. Overeaters Anonymous. What the hell's anonymous? Satellites are picking me up, for Christ's sake. Nothing anonymous about that. Certain things you can't do when you're big. You can never be a ninja. I can be the guy who all the ninjas hide behind. You can't be a jockey. I got on a horse once, turned around and said, yo, one at a time, asshole. Luge, I want to do the luge. The two-man luge. Is that not one of the gayest sports in the world? Because what are they driving by? One's on the bottom, the other one's on top. One on the bottom keeps saying, handle the stick, boys, just handle the stick. And people like me should not be in spandex. That's why I don't go to Walmart anymore, because I'm afraid I'm going to end up in one of those freaking emails from Walmart. You see these things? 3 of my relatives showed up already. I'm not looking at those things. Oh, God, being big. It's bad. One of the bad things is that I have to shop at Casual Male Big and Tall. And first of all, they have a sign out front that says giant suit sale. I went in and punched him right in the mouth. What the hell are they gonna sell? Midget suit sales? It's big and tall, hello? And I'm 5'7", if I lay flat on my back. So, but I wanna buy underwear. Now I'm like most guys, the only reason guys wear pretty underwear is number 1, they're either gay, or number 2, their wife or girlfriend makes them do it. Because once you get to the underwear, every guy's in the same frame of mind. It's coming off. Because it's either with a girlfriend or you're gonna have sex or it's with a doctor, but it's coming off. Now I gotta buy underwear and I wanna buy 150 pair for $2. So I don't have to wash it, I just throw that shit away. No bacon strips, no nothing, just all of it goes, right? But I can't. I gotta go to Casual Male Big and Tall. $23 for a pair of underwear. Calvin Klein. Why? Have you ever seen anybody on TV like me? Just pull this underwear right over your belly and it'll stay forever right there. No. You ever see a mannequin in Macy's that looks like me? No. And I always wait. I wait. Guys, women don't understand this, but I wait because underwear gets comfortable. And as long as the elastic stays, the rest of it stays comfortable. The problem is that I keep underwear until that hole in the bottom opens up. And as you're walking along, George and the boys fall through. So now as you're walking with your girlfriend, you're starting to walk like this. And she's, what the hell is wrong with you? I'm trying to get George and the boys back up. Well, fix it. I'm not going down there with my hands. You look like a weirdo. I don't care. Something's coming. Got him. I'm okay. This is the shit you have to go through. You ever have that friend? I got your back. They're kicking the shit out of my nuts. You want to get up front and help me here? I can hide 400 people behind me in my back. Get the hell up front and help me. Oh my God. Oh, I hate that shit. I really do. There's another one too. I have a blind cousin. This is the truth. I have a blind cousin, and he's actually a, what do they call those, figure skater. He's a figure skater. And he goes in, he gets all the dimensions. But he freaks me out, because every time I go to see him, as I walk in the door, he says, John, good to see you. Stashi, don't do that. What do you mean? Look, good to hear you, good to smell you, even good to feel you, I can take it. Good to see you from a blind guy freaks me the fuck out. That scares the hell out of me. So he told me, he says, I want to go skydiving. I said, what's the point? I'll hold you in front of a fan, you can lean forward and just... So he went to the damn thing, the class and all, and I said, how are you going to tell when the ground is rushing up to meet you? He says, it's easy. My dog's leash will go slack. Half the guys are laughing and half the girls are going, oh my God, that's terrible. So when he pisses me off and he's figure skating, I throw sand out onto the rink. When he hits it, he flips, and I just yell, didn't see that coming, did ya? You little bitch. How many people are all for the military draft? Clap your hands if you are. Not me. Not me. Sending young men and women into combat is stupid. Now, I was in the United States Air Force for 4 years. I don't think I saw a plane except to jump out of it. It's in a foxhole mostly. And I got to tell you something, I don't believe in the draft. Not for 18, 19, or 20-year-olds. They got to draft people who are really pissed off at the world. 55-year-old balding fat men with no girlfriends. Give me a six-pack and a Polaris missile, something's gonna fucking die. And if I have a girlfriend, I'll just tell her, honey, we're going to the beach, come on! Get 18 of us, we'll look at the lieutenant, he'll tell us what to do, we'll say, fuck you, we'll do it ourselves. That's what they need. My sister's gay. She's been married to her wife. They're lovely people for 10 years. She's married to her wife. I guess her wife's gay, too. Anyway. Oh, stick with me. I'm older. I got to tell you something right now. You want to win the war in Afghanistan? You tell every lesbian in the United States that they're pissed off at women and dogs. They'll go over and kick the shit out of them right now. Now, my sister's friends are lesbians, and they're beautiful, wonderful people, but they scare the hell out of me. If I ever go to bed with one of them and whip mine out, if they whip theirs out, theirs will be bigger. It does, it scares me. Oh my God. Dating, I hate dating. Last time I had a girlfriend, she split up with me. She goes, you don't understand me. I said, what do you mean? 2, 3, 4. I'm waiting. It's hitting the back wall, coming back at you. She was always bothering me, you know. Put the toilet seat down. Put the toilet seat down. I'm like every guy in the world. I don't know about you, but when I have to get up in the middle of the night and do God's work, I'm not awake. So I stand there like this. And then I let loose. And if I hear water hitting water, that's great. But if I don't hear water hitting water, I will adjust my stream until I do. And it works, guys, because she doesn't ask me to put that seat down anymore. The weather around Reno. I got friends back east. I came out of here from somewhere around outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And so I have friends back east, and they're always asking, because they always hear the wildfires. So I get a call from Barbara. She says, I heard there was a bad wildfire around you. Are you okay? I'm on the phone, ain't I? Was it a bad fire? Nope, it was a really good fire. Burned everything in its path. Well, it was outside Carson. They had a few mountains to go before they got to us. It's all right. Stupid people. And wintertime, how many people are snowboarders or skiers? Clap your hands. Not me. I don't do snowboarding or skiing. I figure I'm going to end up on my ass. I might as well start there. I go tubing. Yeah. But a fat guy on a tube is like a magnet to you sons of bitches. Oh yeah, the minute I get on the tube, everybody dog piles right on. Halfway down the hill, I lose the tube. Nobody knows it but me. That shit hurts. My nephew got in trouble last year for writing his name in P in the snow in the next door neighbor's yard. Now that's not what pissed off the next door neighbor. What pissed him off was he found out it was in his own daughter's handwriting. That's only dirty if you got it. My grandfather's been a farmer for 65 years. Never had chapped lips. I said, Gramps, why don't you have chapped lips? He says, follow me. We walk over to the horse stall. He lifts up the horse's tail. He rubs his finger around the inside of the horse's butt. And then he wipes it all over his lips. Gross, isn't it? I said, my God, does that make him soft? He says, nope, but it sure as hell keeps you from licking them. So about 8 years ago, I used to be 605 pounds, and I wanted to try something. A friend of mine said you should try scuba diving. Anybody tried this wonderful thing? Because they say that big guys are more buoyant. You can move better when you're in the water. So I'm pushing and struggling and pulling and moving and trying to get through. I finally get the scuba suit on. I was so tired, I laid down on a rock, fell asleep. Next week, I was on Sea Lion Monthly. And then the guy comes up to me and says, "Here, put this on." I said, "What is it?" He said, "It's a weight belt." I punched him right in the mouth. I don't need a weight belt at 605 pounds. I'm a son of a... Anyway, I guess you can tell by looking at me that I was a beekeeper. Yeah, I was a beekeeper part-time. But all of a sudden, my bees wouldn't give honey. And they wouldn't work. I didn't know what to do. So I called a buddy of mine in Mexico. I said, "No, my bees won't work. They're not giving me honey." He says, "Well, let me send you some Mexican bees. I'll send you 1,000 Mexican bees." I said, "Okay." So he sent 1,000 Mexican bees up in a van, but 5 million more followed behind the van over a few bridges. Some of them swam the river. So now I've got all these Mexican bees in my front yard, but they're not doing any of the work because the Jewish bees next door hired them as carpenter bees. So I didn't know what to do. So I figured, well, let's try some African bees. So I hired some guy to send me some African bees. But the African bees mated with my bees, and my bees still wouldn't work, and the African bees became African American bees, and they couldn't fly and land on a flower because they had too much bling and always had handcuffs on. All they could do is fly by and just drag their junk through the flower. So, and my bees still won't work. So I don't know what to do. I tried to get Asian bees, but that didn't work because all of them looked alike and we couldn't tell who the queen was. I figured I'll get some bees from California. But apparently from California, everybody wants to be a queen. So we couldn't find them either. I figured Mormon bees, that might work, but it was 7 queens to every 1 worker. The workers were dropping like flies. I finally decided I'm going to hire some Irish bees, but them stupid bastards go to the same flower every night and fall off. They never go back to the nest. So no more bees. What do you think? Is that a good one? What, huh? Damn this thing. It's supposed to give me my time. Oh, good. We got plenty. What? Don't fuck with the fat guy. And don't fuck with the guy with the microphone. Okay? Have a nice... Weren't you my roommate in prison? Turn around. You were my roommate in prison. How are you? Sketchy. So I was a cop for a while. I wasn't a good cop. I was an okay cop. I never lost a foot race. I used the car. Tough on stairs, but screw it. It wasn't my car. I don't care. I shot expert and a non-expert and a UPS man and a newspaper boy. And 3 old ladies. I'm sorry about that. But no, the best thing I ever did was I stopped people from hijacking a Little Debbie's Cakes truck. Yeah. I returned the truck and almost half the cakes. I was holding out for a milk truck. But cops, you know, honest to God, I was a good cop, and I tried to arrest really bad people. I wasn't after little things like a little bit of marijuana or speeders or anything like that. I just didn't want to do it. Now, how many people in here have ever drag raced? Raise your hand or clap your hands. What kind of car did you have, cowboy? 69 Camaro. Ah, awesome. 69 Camaro. What'd you have, sir? 500 All right, there you go. What else? What kind of car you have, ma'am? Yeah, Julie, what do you have? A 2002 what? PT Cruiser? Probably has candy in it. Anyway, drag racing is neat. I did it myself. And one thing about being a cop, real good cops do not like drag races because drag races are dangerous. And you'll be driving up the road 90 miles an hour trying to catch somebody, and some idiot in a PT Cruiser will pull right out in front of you. And you'll say it, then you'll do it. Shit! And then right on your seat. And then you got to go home and clean it. So I'm in a Cruiser. I'm in a marked Cruiser. It's got police written all over it. It's got the red lights and blue lights. It's wonderful. It's in the daylight. I'm sitting in an abandoned gas station, so there's nobody else around. Right in front of me is 2 lanes going north, 2 lanes going south, double lights. Up pulls a 1967 Chevy Malibu Super Sport. Candy apple red, beautiful car. Right next to him pulls a 1967 Chevy Nova. And they start gunning the engines and looking at each other. And I'm on the side doing paperwork, and I don't want to do anything else. So I'm sort of waving out the window, hello, I'm here, hello. They didn't see me. Cars start piling up behind them. It's like a tennis match. Because they're looking at them, and then they look at me. And they look at them, and they look at me. They're gunning the engines, I'm going, oh shit. Don't do this, please don't do this. The light turns green, boom, they're off. Everybody else waited. All of them looking at me. You gonna go? No, really, you gonna go? Son of a bitch. Hit the lights, hit the siren, I take off, I'm traveling up the road at 90 miles an hour. Now, most people don't realize that a police siren is overrun at 50 miles an hour. If a cop's doing 55 and he has a siren on, you can't hear it till he's right behind you. Now, when a cop gets right behind you and you see the lights and you hear the siren, what's the first thing you do? Shit your pants. After that, you hit the brakes. So now I'm going up the Highway 309 sideways at 90 miles an hour, shitting my pants. And then they both pulled into Hershey Lamp Company. I get out of the car. I know what I said. I walked up and I said, license, insurance, and registration, please. But they were very frightened because it came out, give me your goddamn papers, I'll blow your fucking head off. I had to pay for the cleaning of the guy coming out of Hershey Lamp Company because his suit was soiled. After hearing that, I got their paperwork and went back up to him and said, come back to the back of your car. So they come back. Said, you guys are the most idiotic people I've ever met in the world. I'm going to write you a ticket. They go, we know. We were drag racing. We shouldn't have done it. We're sorry. I said, no. You're idiots. You gave drag racing a bad name today. You both pulled over. What the hell do you think I am, Batman? You think I have a split car that can go 2 different directions? You're assholes. I'm giving you a ticket for assholishness. That's what I'm giving you a ticket for. Morons. Oh, what are we looking like here? I gotta tell you, being a cop is a trip. We went to a place called, they put an adult bookstore next to a lube through. It's like a Jiffy Lube. Who figured this out? Now, cops, anybody in here a cop or an ex-cop? Clap your hand if you are. Good, let's talk about them. They had a lube through, and we got a call. Cops are voyeurs. I got a call of 2 people messing around in a van outside of the adult bookstore. So me and my partner, we meet up there, and he's homophobic. I mean, he's really homophobic. I think every year he goes hunting gay people when they're in season. So we pull up to the van, and I look in the back window of the van because the light's shining down, and all I see is Heine pumping away. I'm going, yes, I'm going to see some shot tonight. This is awesome. So I got the shotgun ready, and he goes over, and he yanks open the door, and I go, freeze! And it's guy on guy. And my partner goes, oh, shit, oh, God, oh, shit. So we've got to separate them, so I used a crowbar. That's such an old joke, my God. You have to separate them to make sure that nobody's getting raped or nobody's in trouble, okay? So there's one guy who's, acting just normal. The other guy's very effeminate. So, of course, my partner took the very quote-unquote normal guy. I got the effeminate one. And he sees, guy I'm talking to, he sees that my partner's homophobic. So after we're done, they both get into their cars. My guy gets into the van, and he pretends that he can't start it. And I'm going, no, don't do this, please. He walks over to my partner and says, excuse me, can you jump me? I had to pull my gun on my partner. Stop him from doing that shit. Oh. And Reno cops, I'm sorry, Reno cops, I'm sure there's some good ones, but they bother me. They just bother me. Yeah! They really do. I was in a rollover accident a couple years ago. Anybody been in a rollover accident? What happened? What were you in? What kind of car were you in? A PT Cruiser? Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah? Hyundai Elantra. Oh, the one that doubles as a casket. Good. Okay, so. I'm sorry, between that and smart cars, how smart are they? One bumped into me, I totaled it, for Christ's sake, okay? I'm gonna have 3 more people my size go down and try a smart car in front of the dealer. If we start breathing, I think we can get the movement in and out, in and out. So I'm in a Jeep. I love my Jeep. Driving down the road, I get to that McCarran and Meadowood Mall stop, right? And there's red lights blinking, so you gotta look every way. It's my turn to go. I start through the intersection. A Russian lady with 2 Russian men in the back comes out, hits the side of my Jeep. I turn sideways and I start to roll. Now I ended up on the passenger side, hanging from my seatbelt. And I'm thinking I'm dead because there's rap music on the radio. And I don't listen to rap music. And the guy comes running up, he says, you gotta get out of the car. I said, why? He says, you just rolled over. No shit. So I hit the seatbelt button, and gravity works. Because now I'm laying in the glass on the passenger side. I get up, all the doors are smashed. There's only one opening, the sunroof. It's this big. I'm not getting out. Guy comes running up, he says, you got to get out of there. I said, why? He says, there's gas all over the ground. Zip, right out. I lost 6 inches of waist that day. And the cops, they show up, no sense of humor. I rolled over right where that sign is, right at McCarran and Meadowood Mall where it says lose weight. I walked up to the 3 cops. You think this is funny, putting that sign up after I rolled? That's not funny at all. They weren't laughing at all. They were kind of pissed off. So I'm walking around and I'm really shaking. If you've been in an accident, you have all the adrenaline going through you. And Remza comes up. These brain dead children. Just kill me for them. Remza comes up. You have to sit down, Mr. Agar. Why? We need to take your blood pressure. Okay. I sit down. He says, we have to take you to the hospital. Why? Your blood pressure is 296 over 180. I said, do you think maybe it's because I just rolled over in an accident? Okay, Mr. Agar, we'll give you a few minutes. Thank you. Then one cop walks over. They always ask you this. Have you been drinking? No. 5 minutes later, Mr. Agar, have you been drinking? No. 5 minutes after that, the sergeant came over. Mr. Agar, have you been drinking? Yes. They all go, really? I said, yeah, ruined a perfectly good $1.69 iced tea from McDonald's. Fuck you guys. Oh. I've had some injuries. It's been a rough year. Really has. I had a colonoscopy. Anybody had this before? Yeah. Anybody over 50 or whoever's had lower GI? This is great. This is, you know what? I'm sorry. cancer will end my life, but I'm going to have embarrassment the rest of my life, okay? I'd rather deal with the cancer. I'm sorry, because this is ridiculous. I go in there, he says, you're too big to put completely under, so we'll just knock you out a little bit. How do you knock me out a little bit? So I'm high on Percocet and Dilaudid. They lay me on a table sideways, and I'm looking at a big screen TV. And it's got to be a sci-fi picture because there's a wormhole up there. Saying that's a neat TV. That's a pretty, what show are we watching? We're watching the inside of you, Mr. Agar. Oh, really? What's that little piece of thing there? He says, that would be fecal matter. I said, oh, shit. And they see this big mountain. I go, what's that? He says, that's a polyp. And this little hook comes out and goes over this noose and pulls back and then sucks it up. And it's gone. I'm going, oh, that must have hurt. But it didn't. Then he says, it's going to feel a little bit difficult, Mr. Agar. I'm going to blow you up with air. He hits me with the air hose. Now I feel like I should be in the Macy's Day Parade in New York City. And he says, Mr. Agar, because it's echoing throughout my body. I left the place. I farted for 4 hours and 37 minutes. In the car, walking out to the car, going through the lobby. The whole time going, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So, how many people are afraid of airplanes? Clap your hands. Are you? Why? I'm not afraid of airplanes. I'm afraid of those idiots that get you on the plane. First of all, we're going into a terminal. Does that scare the hell out of anybody else, or is it just me? First thing you do, you walk up to the counter. What's the first thing they say? Do you have any bags you're not aware of? I don't know. That's why we're here, sir. Then they have the gall to ask me, did you pack your own bags? No, my butler, Ahmad Rahim, did. And disregard the 4 alarm clocks, you asshole. Now I got to go up and get on a plane. I don't go through the x-ray machine because I can't fit. And I don't mind. I like being searched. I haven't been touched like that in years. Me and him are having dinner tomorrow night. Oh yeah, and the women are worse. You ever see the women when they search you? They wind up. Got anything there? Not now. You scared it out the back. I'm going to have to run my thumb up my ass and you'll sneak to get it back out front again. Guy says, you'll have to remove your shoes. Why? Might be a bomb in them. I won't be able to reach them to turn it on. You still have to remove them. You got anybody who can help me put them back on? So I'm walking into the plane barefoot. And this little old lady is standing next to the aisle and she says, would you like to sit next to the window? I said, why? She says, I don't want the wind to mess up my hair. No thanks, can I have another plane, please? And I like to sit in the exit row because the exit row is made for bigger people, right? Gives you more room. But there's rules in the exit row. First of all, you must be 14 years of age or older, and in case of an emergency, you must be ready, willing, and able to unlock the door, open it up, take it off the hinges, set it to the side, and help people through. Bullshit. I'm hitting the door like Mean Joe Green. Follow me! And if you're second in line, you're going to have a hell of a soft landing right here. What did I tell you about the seat cushions? Flotation devices. I fly between Reno, Nevada and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. There ain't a whole hell of a lot of water in there. I do not want a seat cushion that is a flotation device. I want a seat cushion that's going to bounce my fat ass safely out of a Kansas cornfield. That's a seat cushion. Now, through all this excitement, I've got to go to the bathroom. Have you ever been in an airplane bathroom? Midgets can't get in there. I've got to drop my pants and raise my arms just to get in. And then I find out I'm facing the wrong direction. I got to shuffle out, spin around, and shuffle back in. I tried turning around inside once. All I got was like, eh. Felt something warm running down my leg. And my ass was pressing on the lotion button. And nobody told me, don't sit on the toilet seat, create a seal and flush. Nobody said that shit. I buckled the fuselage. My balls were dangling out of the plane at 50,000 feet. That shit hurts. I had to take a hop between Salt Lake City and Reno, and I hate hops. Hops are nothing more than a 1/4 inch of aluminum between you and God. And when you get up there, the first thing they ask you at the counter, I walk up. Hello, Mr. Agar. How much do you weigh? Why do you want to know? We want to know how much fuel to put on the plane. Fill it up. We're going over the Rockies, you asshole. Fill it up. I weigh 3,000 pounds. Fill it up. And I hate getting on hops anyway. The minute I get on, they always go, Mr. Agar, the seats on the right-hand side of the plane are much more comfortable. Yeah, 39 people on the left, me and the stewardess on the right. Bullshit, I'm ballast. Oh, man. How we doing so far? Good? All right. So, yeah. It's been a rough time. My dad's nuts. When I was growing up, for the first 7 years of my life, I thought my name was While You're Up. While you're up, get me a beer. While you're up, mow the lawn. Hell, my dad had the first remote in 1965. It was me. Get up and change the channel, you little bastard. Thanks, Dad. I think we bonded. He was good. He was good. He'd make us run out in foggy days and run between headlights, just in case they were motorcycles, not cars. One time we were playing softball in the middle of a horse pasture, and I said, I gotta go to the bathroom. He says, go over by the fence. It was electric. Yeah, I still get excited to envy energy trucks. I said one time, I said, Dad, can we go to the zoo? He says, if the zoo wants you, they'll come get you. Otherwise, we're staying home here. So, anybody play golf lately? Playing golf? Yeah, first time out, I got a 6 over. Is that good? Yeah, not 6 over par. I found 6 more balls than I lost that day. That's over par, right? And I hate golf anyway, but I like playing it because I like to see other people, you know, do stupid things. Like, I never aim for the pins. That's easy. They're stationary. I aim for other people. Yeah, if I can hit one of them, I think I'm on pretty good stage, right? So I'm standing in the clubhouse, and I'm drinking a diet beer. Hey, look, you can believe in diet ice cream. I can believe in diet beer. I'm standing there, and the club pro's with me, and this lady comes running up. She says, I just got stung by a bee. He says, where? She says, between the first and second hole. I says, your stance is too wide. All right, by round of applause, how many people love sex? Every guy and 3 girls. I'll point out the girls later, guys. I love sex. My grandfather, he's been fooling around for years. I said, do you take Viagra? And he says, nope. Ain't no sense in putting a new flagpole on an old building, boy. But I love sex. I love safe sex. It's safe for her, because I'm on the bottom. Which is good, because according to her, I can only fuck up. So it really works out. One thing about safe sex, though, when I was younger, I used to be able to go into a pharmacy and buy condoms and get out. It was easy. They have sizes now. Medium, large, and magnum. I'm not going up to the counter with a medium. I bought a magnum. I had to use 5 tubes of poly grip to keep it on. Now she won't do me because it's all wrinkly. And actually, my grandfather does take half of Viagra. He doesn't want to get excited. He just wants to put it out there so he doesn't piss on his shoes. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my time. I'm John Agar. Thank you so much.
What's up? Jesus. John Agar, everybody. We want to thank you so much for coming out, for having a blast with all the comics. Just to remind you, every Tuesday there is an open mic here. Please come every single Tuesday. It's free. Have fun. We've got George the bartender's birthday Saturday at 9 p.m., $5. Everyone come in, get wasted. Friday night, the 24th, there's a show at 8 featuring Mr. Matt Wiegand, the beautiful button-up cardigan. I don't know, whatever the fuck Clark Kent turns into. But yeah, thank you guys for coming out. You've been a fucking amazing audience. You guys are amazing. Have a great night. Get super drunk with George the bartender. Thanks for putting up with me. Now I know that it's East, but it's still awesome. I love me some Auburn. I got laid my first time in Auburn. Swear to God, right behind your In-N-Out. His name was Philip. God damn. Have a great night, everybody.